You're either the office sweetheart who gets ignored or the bossy bitch who everyone fears. There is no middle ground, and this impossible choice is quietly sabotaging your career. I'm Amelia. We're going to talk about the likability trap and how to stop apologizing for your own competence. I want to expose the impossible tightrope that almost every ambitious woman is forced to walk in her professional life. You're in a meeting. You have a brilliant idea, but you hesitate to speak up too forcefully, worried you'll be seen as aggressive. You lead a project, but you find yourself softening your feedback with smiles and apologies, afraid of being called bossy. You get a piece of work from a male colleague that is subpar, and you spend hours fixing it yourself instead of giving direct, critical feedback because you don't want him to dislike you. You are constantly trying to find the perfect balance. Be assertive enough to be respected as a leader, but be nice enough to be liked. And it feels utterly exhausting. Because you know that if you lean too far in one direction, you're dismissed as a pushover. And if you lean too far in the other, you're labeled with a word they almost never use for a man: a bitch. This is not in your head. This is a very real psychological and social phenomenon called the likability trap, or the competence-likability trade-off. And it is one of the biggest, most frustrating, invisible barriers to a woman's success. We are going to dissect this trap. We understand why it exists, why it disproportionately affects women, and I will give you a practical 3-part framework to escape it, to be both a respected, effective leader and a well-liked colleague without sacrificing your authenticity. The core of the likability trap is a clash with our deeply ingrained, subconscious gender stereotypes. For centuries, we have been culturally conditioned to associate leadership qualities, assertiveness, decisiveness, ambition, with masculinity. And we've been conditioned to associate feminine qualities with communal traits, being nurturing, supportive, and agreeable. The problem arises when a woman steps into a leadership role. She is now exhibiting qualities, like assertiveness, that we subconsciously code as masculine. This creates a cognitive dissonance in the minds of others. They see her as competent, yes, but she is violating their subconscious expectation of how a woman should behave. As a result, she is often penalized with a likability score. Studies have shown this over and over again. When a man and a woman exhibit the exact same assertive behavior, the man is often praised as a strong leader, while the woman is disliked for being abrasive or bossy. It's a double bind, a catch-22. To be seen as a leader, you must be assertive. But when you are assertive, you are less liked. And being liked is crucial for building alliances, for influencing people, and for creating a positive work environment. It feels like a game you are designed to lose. So, how do we change the rules of the game? It's not about changing who you are. It's about being more strategic in how you communicate your power. Strategy number 1: pair warmth with competence. Since the trap is triggered by a violation of the stereotype, assertive woman equals not warm, the antidote is to consciously and strategically pair your assertive, competent actions with signals of warmth and connection. You are not softening your message. You are delivering it in a way that makes it easier for the other person to hear. The action plan. Before you give critical feedback or make a strong, decisive point, start with a moment of connection. Instead of jumping straight into criticism, start with a validator. Mark, I really appreciate the fast turnaround on this report. That was great. Warmth. I have a few notes on the data section I'd like to discuss to make it even stronger. Competence. When delegating a task, frame it as a sign of trust. Jane, I'm giving this to you because I know you have the best eye for detail on the team. Warmth. I need the first draft by Friday at 5 p.m. Competence. This isn't about being fake. It's about being emotionally intelligent. You are showing that you are both a demanding leader and a supportive colleague. You are both a boss and a human. Strategy number 2. Frame your assertiveness in communal terms. The other way to navigate the trap is to frame your ambitious and assertive actions in a way that shows they are beneficial to the entire group, not just for your own personal gain. The action plan. When you are pushing for a new idea, a promotion, or a difficult change, connect it to a shared goal. Instead of saying, "I think my idea is the best way forward," try framing it as, "I've been thinking about our goal to increase efficiency, and I have an idea that I believe could help all of us save a lot of time." Instead of saying, "I deserve that promotion," try framing it as, "I am excited about the opportunity to take on more responsibility and use my skills to help lead this team to its next success." This is not manipulation. If you genuinely believe your actions will benefit the team, you are simply making that benefit explicit. You are shifting the perception from "she is being ambitious for herself" to "she is being ambitious for us." Strategy number 3. Reclaim your no with grace and authority. For many women, especially those struggling with the good girl syndrome we've discussed, saying no is the hardest part. It feels like a direct path to being disliked. But a leader who cannot say no is not a leader. They are a pushover. The action plan. You need a script that is both firm and respectful. When asked to take on a task that is not your responsibility or that will overload you, you don't need an elaborate excuse. A simple, powerful script is, "Thank you for thinking of me for this. Unfortunately, my current priorities won't allow me to give this the attention it deserves right now, but I would be happy to recommend someone else." Let's break this down. "Thank you for thinking of me" shows respect. "My current priorities won't allow it" frames your no not as a personal rejection, but as a strategic business decision based on your priorities. And offering a small alternative shows that you are still a team player. You are being firm, but you are not being a jerk. The likability trap is real. It is an unfair double standard that women face in the professional world. And while we must continue to fight to change these outdated stereotypes in our culture, you also have the power to navigate them with intelligence and grace, right now. You do not have to choose between being liked and being respected. You do not have to choose between being a good girl and being a bossy woman. By consciously pairing your competence with warmth, by framing your ambition in a way that serves the group, and by delivering a firm but respectful no, you can be both. You can be the kind, supportive, and well-liked colleague that everyone wants to work with, and the strong, decisive, and respected leader that everyone is willing to follow. Don't shrink yourself to fit into the world's small boxes. Learn the strategies to show up as your full, powerful, and authentic self, and watch as the world makes space for you. Have you ever felt caught in the likability trap? Share your story in the comments. And if you're ready to lead with both strength and grace, make sure you subscribe.